Tell him I'm actually an ordinary human. Tell him my parents had a weird sense of humor. I don't get the fucking weird sense of humor. What is the problem? Yes, my parents had a really weird sense of humor. Speaking of names, aren't you supposed to be a hero of legend? How exactly does one as strong as you get bested so easily by someone named Cutthroat Dave? Oh, that. He's sounding embarrassed. You see, Barry, I may be powerful, but that does not mean I don't have weaknesses. It turns out one of those weaknesses that I never really managed to master the shield spell properly. The shield spell, that one that casts an invisible protective layer around yourself. But isn't that one of the first spells any mage learns? It is, but it's not like I can't cast it at all. I can defend from magic just fine. It's normal weapons that I have a problem with, and that is why I wear armor. This is why I use a sword and a shield. I first started using them because I couldn't use the shield spell properly, but soon I started tailoring my magic around them. And my very fighting style, I found a master that would teach me to fight with weapons, and I used my magic to enchant them. Then after every fight, I just use my white magic to heal my wounds, like so. That is, wait, hold on. So, oh, so he essentially did the Bloodborne thing. There's one shield in Bloodborne, which is like there's a wooden shield, and one of the biggest things about that shield is that they say like whosoever like hides behind a shield, understand that your tactics does not turn to cowardice or something like that. That is a really dope line. I really like that one. So yeah, it could be just that. Fuck. I just lost my train of thought. What the hell? He demonstrated by raising his hands in the air and making a white light appear all around him. As the light shines, his wounds start closing and the blood fades away. The cutthroat's knives had a life of their own, and there were many of them attacking me simultaneously. If I had a proper shield spell to defend against them, beating him would have been child's play. Defending against all those knives with the shield and sword alone would have been impossible regardless of my combat skill. All armors have their weaknesses. All he had to do was go for the armor's joints repeatedly until he wore me out. Why are you telling me all of this? Shouldn't you be at least a bit worried about really revealing your greatest weakness to someone you just met? Hey, you've just saved my life, so you can't be that bad, right? Pardon me for interrupting. I hear a woman's voice from behind the trees, but would you be by any chance the Darren, the legendary savior of the Eastern Continent? That's a chapter? That's really small. Wait, something showed up on the screen. I didn't even see. Both Darren and I turn around at the same time. We see a slim, tall figure standing behind us with long black hair, fair skin, and a very serious look on her face. She's wearing leather pants, a long-sleeved white blouse, and a green hooded cloak. She appears to be somewhere in her early 20s, but that's not all there is to this woman. I can also sense a strong magical aura around her. How the hell could you possibly sense aura? Wait, how are you sensing aura? Aren't you not a mage? You're not a mage. How are you sensing aura? I thought, are all people able to sense aura? An aura that couldn't possibly be coming from a regular human. Could she be a banshee? My heart started beating again, rapidly again. That night from 15 years ago is coming back to me. I can see it vividly, and I can still hear the laughter, that sinister, high-pitched laughter. Will it never stop haunting me? I breathe in deeply, try to calm down. This woman can't be a banshee. The feeling I'm getting now is too different from the one I got back then. Does that mean she's a mage? No, that would be impossible, and yet... Barry, whispers Darren, don't be afraid. I know white magic. I can purify her. Okay. I realized Darren must have also sensed the magic coming from the woman and concluded that she has been possessed by a banshee. Banshees are parasitic spirits that need to inhabit bodies in order to survive. They usually spend a few weeks inside a body in a dormant state before taking over. During this phase, the host may develop magic powers. Once a banshee is in full control of the body, they say she has awakened. The only way you can save the original host once she has been possessed by a banshee is to use white magic to purify her before the banshee has fully awakened, which basically means killing the banshee without harming the host. This game has a very weird way to approach banshees. As far as I remember, banshees were separate beings, not fucking parasitic hosts or whatever, spirits or whatnot. I've never heard of a fantasy story where they show banshees like that. Usually banshees are either like women that try to lure men like with songs and shit, and there's other ones where they scream really loudly and just pop people's head off or some shit. How the purification technique operates on the assumption that a woman cannot have magic powers of her own. We call it purification, but all the technique does in fact is to completely eradicate the aura that gives off the strong magical vibe. With the purpose of also eliminating banshee along with it. On the other hand, if the aura does not in fact belong to a banshee but to the woman herself, the purification would be nothing short of a death sentence. No, wait, listen to me, I blurred out. This woman isn't a banshee. No, what? So what are you suggesting? She's a mage then? Women can't be mages, really? There hasn't been a single recorded case of a woman mage in all of world's history. Every time a woman develops magical powers, it's been because of a banshee every single time. That's interesting. So women can't be mages. So, like, do they have like separate magical shit, or they just don't have anything? Don't you think I know that? But this one is different. If you try to purify her, you may well end up killing her. How can we be so sure? Because I've met a banshee before, up close. Have you met a banshee before, Darren? No, he admits. You just said you trusted me enough to tell me your greatest weakness. I'm asking you to trust me on this. Can you trust me on this, Darren? Darren gives you one long look, and then he sighs deeply. Alright, we'll do it your way, but I'm keeping an eye on her. I swear, Barry. If it turns out, you're only saying all of this because of her looks, I'm going to. Would you guys mind telling me what you have been whispering about for the past minute? The woman asks. Discussing whether she's a banshee or not. Just finishing our discussion from earlier, deciding which one should make a pass at her. This discussion from earlier. I'm not gonna fucking make a passes right now. Fucking hell. We're just finishing our discussion from earlier. I tell her. She's eyeing me suspiciously. She doesn't appear to believe me. She decides to drop the subject for now. Addresses Darren instead. You didn't answer my question. I was asking if you're Darren, the healer in the armor. I am indeed, answers Darren. What business would you have with me? I require an escort. I'm not certain I can survive this tournament by myself, and I've heard of all your deeds of valor and all of your legends, so I thought that maybe say no more. I will grant you my protection for the duration of your quest. From what you say, I would surmise that you're not actually trying to win the competition. No, I'm not. I'm looking for a friend. And I have a reason to believe that she's somewhere on this continent, yet I don't have any specific leads just yet. For now, I just need to stay alive. Then you can join us. Why the hell is Darren so up for it? We were just about to get out of here. We're way too out in the open right now. Us? You're planning to travel alongside the Stillwater? You can't trust him. Seriously? You just come in here and talk shit? Ask her what she has against me. Why the two of you? Why should the two of us should trust her? Why she's so quick to trust Darren and not me? What she got against me? Hey, I'm right here, I tell her. What do you have against me anyway? Don't give me that axe, Stillwater. I've heard of what your kind can do. Human life has no value to you. Tell me, what did the people of Olnar ever do to deserve such a terrible fate? Whoa, let us all calm down, says Darren. He turns to the woman. Listen, I understand your concern, but this man saved my life, and I intend to repay my debt to him. If you're looking for an escort, it's going to be the three of us traveling together. I'm not accepting any alternatives. The woman pauses to consider Darren's words. Very well, she says. If that's the way it has to be, I'm forced to comply. But note that I will be constantly watching my back. I'm not as easily convinced as you, healer in the armor. Great, Darren says. But this is so weird. What is happening? I mean, they've set up a really good story, but I feel like we are seeing the lacking skills of the author for some reason, because he went by a very weird logic in the last sentence. Like, the conversation was super weird. But know that I'll be constantly watching my back. I'm not as easily convinced. Now that we've got that settled, let's be off, adventure away. So by the way, this tournament, how big is this area that is like we're gonna fighting in? Wait, I call out. You still didn't tell us your name. The woman turns towards me and gives me a pondering look. After careful consideration, she decides to answer. It's Kate. My name is Kate. Those last words, the three of us leave the clearing and head into the forest in hopes of finding some place away from the ongoing battles that are being waged across the land. Continue. As we march towards the forest, I hear a few loud beeps coming from my right pocket. Barry, what was that sound? Darren asks. I know that sound. Don't tell me you bought a fortune teller's trinket with you all the way here. Are planning to tell us our fortunes, Barry? A fortune teller's trinket, that's what most people call these devices nowadays, but very people know what they actually really do and how they actually work. My research has led me to believe that these devices harness their energy from the magic all around them. The more energy they harness, the more effective they become. Since mages are all usually spread far apart from one another, they don't really have any reason to cast powerful spells one after the other. The effects of such a device is almost negligible, but imagine the amount of energy it could gather in a place filled with the most powerful mages in the world, who are constantly fighting each other. I pull the device out of my pocket. It looks much like a toy with a few buttons and a screen. What the hell, a screen? It's a fucking phone? What is happening here? Are you about to call tactical strike or something? What the This is so weird. What the hell? Who made this story? As I press the buttons, different letters magically appear on the screen. Oh, it might be actually one of those stories. You know, the stories where like an apocalypse happened on Earth and like the civilization got buried or something, and only a few people know how to like, you know, read those old scriptures, and now the society has regressed back to medieval times, but we have mages now. That sort of thing, maybe? We'll see. As I appear with the buttons, different different letters magically appear on the screen, forming words and showing me numbers. The device calls these my stats. My stats consist mostly of various physical attributes such as strength, speed, reflexes, toughness, observation, and hearing. But there are also others like combat technique, ancient language, and premonition. By the way, ancient language is, I'm guessing, is English or something. But the question is that, so I'm guessing people just awaken as a mage, like awakening sort of thing, like in those weird ass manhwas. Yeah, I'm guessing that people just awaken as mage and this like a talent based thing, but our character says that he can become a mage by coming here, so I'm guessing there's like a special like situation or something here. There's like a special like something, maybe something you get, maybe like a grand wizard like gives you magic or some shit. I don't fucking know how they would become a mage. By the way, that woman, why did we prevent Darren from killing her? I don't understand. I don't understand a lot of things that our character does, like out of nowhere. It's just weird. When the device harnesses enough energy, it announces me by beeping. It then allows me to invest a limited number of points in my stats. At the moment, all of my stats are at 0, which means that the device's energy are completely depleted when I bought it. I guess I'll have to start leveling them from scratch. Why did it deplete? Which means that the device's energy was completely depleted when I bought it. Okay, so did you not do any physical work or anything in your life? Like, you're a researcher, right? So you should know the ancient language already. So why is your ancient language stat 0? That makes no sense. Anyway, where were we? Investing my points in stats is supposed to actually enhance my real attributes as long as I keep the device close enough to me that it comes into contact with my magical aura. I spend my time here. I'm expecting to hear these beeps more and more often. I have to think twice about the way I spend my points though, since I have no way of knowing when I'll get my next batch of points and no way to change my mind. After I've invested them, the maximum value that appears now for each stat are likely to increase as time passes. The device is mostly used for fortune tellers because of this premonition stats. It provides them with some very vague glimpses into the future that they are then free to interrupt to their own liking. I wonder if the ancient language stat actually means that I'll start being able to understand and speak ancient tongues. I heard that there are many such writings on this continent. I heard some people here don't speak common tongue. Invest point later by pressing the stats button on the top of the screen. Invest points now. Why not? Why not? Sure. How do I invest points? I have 3 points. Well, first of all, I need to be able to hit shit, right? My first thing is to be combat. Or is it? No, wait. I'm gonna go with a weird one. I'm gonna go with hearing. I'm gonna go with reflexes. I'm gonna go with speed. I need to be able to listen because these are pro mages, right? And there might actually be a still water around here. So my main goal is to listen, so that I can understand where like a sound coming. Oh, some mages here. Hide. Or like if they attack, I need to be able to react fast enough. Like wasn't able to react to the cutthroat Dave or whatever. And speed to actually react and then get out of that area fast enough. My main goal is to be running, honestly. Confirm changes. As we march through the forest, I hear a few loud beeps coming from my right pocket. Yeah, you've already read all that. Yes. But don't you think there are more important things to do right now than playing around with that toy? Darren asked me. This isn't a toy. I answered him as I put the device back into my pocket. And I think you should pay more attention to where you're going instead of lecturing me, because I see we just ran out of the forest. Quiet, the two of us. Two of you, we got company. Kate says. She's right. Looking all around us, I see there are fallen trees everywhere in this area. There are quite a few dead bodies lying around. Seems there's been a battle here, or maybe several. The victors were in the middle of looting the bodies when they noticed us. There are 3 of them in total. One of them is considerably well built for a mage. He has a very long black beard covering his face. He seems to be in his mid-40s. He's wearing heavy armor and is holding a large battle axe. The other 2 are a bit skinnier and younger and wearing chainmail vests instead, but they are holding no weapons. The bearded mage with the battle axe shouts to Darren. By the way, question. Did our character bring any weapon? Like, did our character like bring a bow? We could at least have brought a bow. Like, come the fuck on. Like, I understand that you're not fighting. Like, if someone's throwing fireballs, at least you can fucking do is use a fucking bow or some shit. Also, this woman, which is not gonna talk about the fact that she's exuding energy or some shit. Whatever. Quite the team you've assembled there. Healer in armor, a healer, a banshee, and an ordinary human. It's like you're dying to lose this. You're dying to lose this tournament.